Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday night edition of Into the Night with me, Sean Kelly. And what a very, extremely hot day today in Pittsburgh. Yeah, unbelievable. Looking at the thermometer now, and it is 8:11 p.m., and it is 90 degrees out here. And it's 90 degrees, and it's crazy. This weather is insane. But you know what? Hey, thank you, Michael Anthony. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate that very much. Michael says, have a great show. Um, you know, I also want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 Mississippi for allowing me to give you this hour on Sunday night and my hour on Tuesday night. Um, and I also like to thank Carnation, too. Um, hey, Cindy Simpson, hello. Welcome to the group. And I, since being on this platform, I'm telling you what, I have met good people. I have met great friends and stuff. And my friend Michael over there has taught me a lot of stuff about podcasting and teaching me to do some research and stuff like that. And I truly appreciate him helping me out through all this because it just seems like that the more I learn, the more I get better. And the only where to go is to the people who know what they're doing. Let's see. I have a couple announcements here. Good evening, River Rose. Good evening to you too. Good evening. Oh, hold on one second. Let me show my banner here. There you go. But want everybody that popped in tonight and that's going to pop in, and that would be great. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the comments that I have in the show tonight. Now, to be honest with you, okay, now I hope I don't make no enemies tonight, because I am going to talk about tarot. As you can see at the bottom of my screen, it says, "Do you really get the answers you seek through a tarot reading?" But I have done a little bit of research, not too much about it, and it's pretty interesting. Uh, and and so I found some decent stuff, not a lot, but please bear with me as we go through this tonight. Hey Drake, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Welcome, my man. Welcome. And we'll see how it goes from here. But I do have a couple announcements before I begin. Um, July 13th, next Saturday, there is Bloodfest 2024, and that is at the Dudas Farm down in Brownsville, PA. And Tuesday night's my guest will be Bill Rigby. He is an avid Bigfoot hunter and does a lot of investigations and stuff like that. So I'm really interested in hearing what he has to say. But I was thinking, like on Sundays, that I just do something different. But Tuesday night is the big night for me, and that's why I'm having Bigfoot month. I'm going to have all kinds of people on, whoever wants to come on, and I do have another guest coming up on the 16th, and I think that you will find very interesting. But back to the show tonight. That question you see there, do you really get answers you seek through a tarot reading? How many people have been and got a tarot reading? Or how many people have actually done a tarot reading on themselves? Is it very helpful? River Rose says it's interesting that the very first tarot, nobody knows who created them. I once watched an interesting documentary on the original creation of them, and it was like nobody knows where they came from. Well, my friend, of course, I went online, checked out Wikipedia, and I could tell you this. The first tarot deck was recorded between the year 1440 and 1450 in Milan, Ferrara, Florence, and Bologna over in Italy. The tarot decks were really big over there in Europe, mainly in Italy is where it actually started at. Um, and you know, what's crazy about that, right, is that they did not actually do it for readings. Aristocrats and noblemen, they would play cards with it. Yeah, I mean, that was the original purpose for a tarot deck. Tarot cards was to play games. Now, I did a little some research, but I really couldn't find out what kind of games that they were playing with the tarot deck. They still, started out with only 56 cards, the minor Arcadia. But eventually, as time went on, they brought in the major arcana cards. And so that's what they did. They played games, like we have our own set of cards playing card games. Well, we they had their way of doing it. But back to who has done a reading on themselves, or has anybody have gone and got a tarot reading done? If so, did you get your answers that you seek? Did you find out any information from the cards? You know, Cindy Simpson says, I have had many readings and found them to be accurate. Okay, that's cool. Um, and I'm glad that you got some accurate readings. Now, I've been to some tarot readers, and I've done actually tarot deck readings on myself, but I didn't do them for a long time because personally, me, and this is my personal opinion, I don't like them. Okay. I mean, there's too many, what is it, definitions for each card, you know. And I, having ADHD, I'm lucky I could read 2 paragraphs and then just move on to the next card. But to be honest with you, the deck that I read from is called the Animal Medicine cards. And I guess you can actually put it as a tarot deck if you wanted to. The only thing different is that it has animals in it. Okay. And whenever you go and read at a psychic fair, and I've read at many of them, I would bring the animal deck with me and I would use that because it's, it's not too, it's not scary, and I'm not saying that all tarot decks are scary, but you look at the artwork and you look at all the spreads that people use for their readings and what the tarot readers read, their spreads and stuff like that. But and then all of a sudden you see like the Ace of Cups, and then you see what the King of Swords, the Joker, the Death card, um, the Falling Tower card, and it just see it to me, it just, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm different. I don't know. But um, to me, if I was going to get a tarot reading as a new person, and I saw all these, death and the falling towers and all kinds of stuff, I'd be like, "Whoa, shit! I'm gonna die." you know, they pulled the death card up on me. And it's not like that because to me, in my realization, in my spiritual beliefs, if you get pulled the death card, okay, it's actually, you're not going to die, but it's actually a rebirth. You're going through a rebirth. And I kind of like, go with that. Um, because I've got the death card really, they really, I picked them, and I picked them good. But you know what? And just, I don't know. Um, can I actually say that I get the answers that I was seeking? Okay. At that very moment, yes. But as time went on, when I got the time frame on which my answer shall be answered, okay, it was a total different story. Okay, because my answers never came. In fact, there were a couple times that I got the opposite of what I was searching for, when I went to see them, you know. Um, so it was really, really hard for me to actually, like, kind of, you know, get a reading done. River Rose says they represent the zodiac signs, like the Emperor and Aries, and animal cards and others also represent the zodiac signs too. Thank you for that information there, River. I did not know that. I didn't. Thank you for that. I truly appreciate it. But but for me, you know, if you need to go get a tarot reading done, get it done. You know, and make sure you do your research on the person that's going to give you a tarot reading. Make sure they're highly regarded and they know what they're doing, you know, and what they're talking about. Um, and trust me, I have a lot of friends who are tarot readers, okay, and they have helped many, many, many of people. But then again, there's some certain ones that advertise themselves as a psychic, and they're a good tarot reader. And you know what? In my opinion, sometimes all they do is read from the definitions of the cards that are, whenever they pull a card, they kind of memorize the definition. Uh, and I believe that like when you pick an animal spirit card, okay, or even if you pick a tarot deck card, it's not so much what the definition of the card means, okay? It's what you actually feel when you pick it up, okay? And that's how I would read at the beginning. Is try, not so much read, think about what the definition was, like the death card. Everyone thinks you're going to die, but you're not going to die. But the more I looked into it, death means a rebirth. Okay, and that's just like the bat in the animal medicine cards. All right, bat is a rebirth, and so you really have to go and you really have to study. Study the tarot if you want to read it, or do some major investigating on what reader you would like to go see. Now, I'm not knocking any readers here. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not telling who the bad ones are, who the good ones are. That's not me. I won't do that. But just do your homework and find out who the good ones are and who the bad ones are. But I did pick up a little bit of stuff that I would like to share with you tonight. And of course, I'm going to read from my trusty notebook here, that I have. You know, Now the most favorite deck in the tarot was the Rider Waite Tarot. That was that was the most famous deck going, and it was published in 1909, based on the instructions of the academic and mystic A. E. Waite, and illustrated by Pamela Coleman Smith, both members of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Okay, so now I got to go to my phone because I had to say that. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, more commonly the Golden Dawn, was a secret society devoted to the study and practice of occult, Hermetism, and metaphysics during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Okay. So the guy, this writer dude, um, it's just interesting, and that's one thing, what Michael taught me, a long time ago, was when you knew, hey Karen, good to see you, honey, welcome, is do the research, and it's just amazing what you find, you know. Never in my wildest dreams did I actually think that the tarot deck was actually in the 1440s and 1450s. It was just a regular card game. That is just like totally amazing. But I really didn't get too much. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Um, so I really didn't really get into, a rabbit hole with this subject. I just thought about it last night and I decided, what the hell, let's read it. Let's talk about it. But I got some little bit more information here. And, and people want to know, what the religion of tarot is. And it's the New Age religion. Is there anybody out there that could tell me what the New Age religion is? Is it a tarot readers? Is it psychics? Is it seers? What is the New Age religion? You know, um, I see New Age stores. Is it that these stores sell candles? Do they sell tarot decks? Do they sell candles, stuff like that? Um, what is the true meaning behind the New Age religion? I tell you what, though, I'll be honest with you. I have met a lot of wonderful people in the New Age religion. You know, that study metaphysical stuff, and they're great people, loving and caring. They're not out for blood, not at all. But I want to know, Cindy, River, Karen, Michelle, who else is in the rooms? Please tell me what you think is the New Age religion. Please tell me. Please share with us. Um, now, oh, hey, Michelle. Okay. All right. So, and another thing I found out that psychology is behind the cards. Now, this is interesting. The symbols on the cards can activate patterns of thinking and responding within us. Now, I kind of like that idea, with the psychology bit. Denise McConnell, I used to be a good amateur tarot reader. Ah, that's cool, Denise. Thank you. Good. All right. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, Denise is a very good friend of mine, and you know, I believe whatever she tells me, and you know, maybe she can give me a tarot reading down the road. I don't know, but see, in my experience with the psychic fairs and stuff like that, you have a person that comes in, you know, getting a tarot reading, all right, and they are so in tuned. Okay, Michelle says I found out that they're not always correct, and that is true, Michelle. That is true. Um, I have found many that, but back to going into and getting your reading done, a tarot reading done. You're so excited. You're so fixated on what are you going to learn? What are they going to tell you? Is my love life going to be great? Am I going to come into a lot of money? Um, how's my sick uncle or aunt or grandmother? Like, no, that's a good. You're allowed to have an opinion. You're in America, buddy. But no, that's a good opinion. I have no. You want to say what you want to say, then go for it. But and then they're so in tune, and they're finally going up, and they're going to sit down, and they're going to go to the reader, and you're just like totally focused. And then say like your name is Michelle, and the reader will say, "Oh, your name is what? Matilda." Okay. Okay. Denise says what you're talking about psychology. I think good observation does make the interpretation better. Yes, I agree. But what the killer is that when the person who is receiving this reading, okay, and you can tell them that they were born an aristocrat, or and they will believe you. I have actually seen it happen. I've actually seen it happen to people who are so in tune to this reading that, the reader would tell them different things about them that weren't true, you know, and all they wanted was that part. Hey, Laura, welcome, welcome to the show. And these people would actually, know, buy into it, you know, and that's where I had a problem with, with the readers that did that. Okay, because you can ask one question, okay, and they can build on that, you know, and before you know it, your name is Paul and you live in Detroit, you know. But that's what Tara, like Denise said. It's all about the psychology of things. It's what you want to hear, no matter what you're going to hear. It's what you want to hear. Cindy Simpson says, I would say do a lot of research before getting a reading from someone. Totally agree with you, Cindy. Totally agree. And everybody, if you want to go get a reading done, you may go around and ask questions, ask people, you know, because there are a lot of good readers out there. There's a lot of them, and they are very good and they're very helpful. Okay. They call it as it is. They don't go around and tell you, yeah, you're going to get a lot of money, you are going to get married and have 5 children and all that good stuff. No, it's not going to happen. Mm-mm. I don't, That's how I look at it, you know. But but all in all, that is all on you, you know. I'm not going to really get into uh, psychic readers or tarot readers because that is their forte. That is their decisions that they make. They set the prices and stuff like that, and um, it's not my 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 opinions on that. River says, how can it be a new age thing? That is weird because tarot is very old. I don't think tarot is technically a religious thing. It's more of a spiritual divination tool, and I think it was done in the 18th century more for kings and important people. Um, how can it be a new age thing? Well, there's a lot of people that kind of like put together the metaphysical into these tarot readings, the tarot decks. Um, and so I guess it was like brought into it. Now, with the 18th century, maybe at that time, River, that they used it for people to, give them readings back then. But what blew me away was when it was first invented in Europe, it was just for playing games, playing card games. Cindy says religious beliefs stopped it from being so public in the past. Of course, you know, the Catholic Church says that's a thing of the devil. You know, you're calling upon the spirits, or it's not right. You're not allowed to do that. And to me, I disagree with the Catholic Church had to say about that. All right, and I'll tell you why. Because at the time, the Catholic Church, Christianity wanted to control people. Okay, back then, and they probably found out that people got a lot more solace, serenity, happiness whenever they were doing the tarot decks or working within the metaphysical, part of the thing. That's how I feel. But River, I really wish that I can have an answer for you on that. If there's anybody out there that can answer River's question, I would truly believe it. How can it be a New Age thing? I wish I knew, but being in the metaphysical world for a long time, that's all there was out there was the tarot decks, you know. But the original purpose for the tarot cards was to play games. The first cards were created in Italy in the 1430s. So all this was over in Europe. Okay. There were 22 major arcana cards, which meant spiritual cards, and the 56 minor arcana cards is different topics like love, conflict, and money. That's where you get your answers from. Yeah, Laura says 1430. Yes. So back then in the 1400s, did they actually think that these cards could give answers? What makes them different from them back then than us today? There isn't a really big difference at all. Not at all. But it's something that, they used. I know a lot of people, they have used, the tarot deck to actually control their lives, to run their lives, and I see, to me, I don't want to express how I feel about that. I believe that that people should somehow do something else than rely on the tarot deck in order to make decisions in their life and everyday life. That's not right. To me, that's not right. I can't, maybe I'm talking out of my butt tonight, but, I'm just being honest with you. I can't see it happening. I know I wouldn't do it. I'm not going to give myself a tarot reading, and see if I'm getting a job or not. Or, am I going to come in and win the lottery? Stuff like that. No, it ain't going to happen. I will never, ever do that. That would be crazy. That would be insane. But you know what, everybody? It is coming up on the 30-minute mark, and I'm going to take a 70-second break. And if you have to go to the bathroom, catch a cigarette, get something to drink, do what you got to do, then I will see you back here in 70 seconds. Hey, welcome back to the second part of Into the Night with me, Sean Kelly. I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 Mississippi. And I also like to thank Carnation for sponsoring the show, so I can give you an hour of my time on Sundays and Tuesday evenings. A couple announcements. Bloodfest 2024 will be at the Dudas Farm. That's down in Greene County. I think it's Brownsville, PA. Brownsville. Brownsville, PA, my bad, on September 13th and the 27th. That is next Saturday, the 13th. They will be holding Bloodfest. And my Tuesday night guest will be Bill Rigby. He is a Bigfoot investigator, and he's going to tell about all his investigating, what he did, what he believes, how, what got him started into the Bigfoot community. And I'm really looking forward to talking with him. I've seen some of his shows on YouTube, and they're really interesting. Um, so if you want to check him out before he comes on Tuesday night, um, go on YouTube and look for Bill Rigby, and he will definitely have some different things for you. You can watch some of his shows. But we were discussing about the tarot deck. Do you really get the answers you seek through a tarot reading? I don't. I don't at all. Not me. We had a nice discussion in the first half hour about it. Um, and to recap it a little bit, you know, the first tarot was in first tarot was invented, or the deck was in the 1430s. And it was made mainly for kings, aristocrats, and noblemen to play a game of cards. That's all it was. Um, and then it grew into 1909, which was the Wraith deck, the Rider-Waite deck tarot. And it was published in 1909 based on the instructions of academic and mystic A.E. Waite and illustrated by Pamela Coleman Smith. So, and that's where it began. But I will tell you this, though, everybody. There are a lot of tarot decks out there. And what I'm really excited about and what I really enjoy about the tarot deck is that it's the artwork that they put on the cards. The artwork is gorgeous, you know. Um, I've seen a lot of good uh, artwork, and they're all good, you know. A lot of people tell you whenever, if you want to buy a set of tarot deck cards, feel them in your hands and see if the energy is right for you. You know, not everybody knows what the feeling of energy is. So if you want to go buy a deck of cards, please go to a metaphysical shop and talk to the people. Okay, talk to the people, and they'll ask you questions, and they will pick out a deck for you to use. And if you want to use the deck, okay, just don't do it right off the bat by yourself, okay? Because um, it's a very powerful tool to communicate to the other side, okay? Um, it's like I'm going to say it's not as bad as a Ouija board, okay, or other things that are there that communicate with the dead. But the tarot is a very powerful tool, and you always need to find somebody to help you through it. Okay, um, and that's the best advice I can give for you on that. And it's crazy too. And this is how the world works. This is how the universe or spirit world works. If you are meant to, have that deck, or if you are meant to go into a bookstore or a metaphysical store, the Druid Animal cards. Oh, Cindy, that's a good deck. Anything with animals is great. You know, my brother has the Oracle cards, which is a beautiful artwork on that, and you don't use them as much anymore. You know, it just seems like that. You go for a certain amount of time, and And just like life, when it's over with, okay, um, and time for you to move on, then you'll find something else that you might get into. Um, what a lot of other things. There's a thing on the top of my mind right now, and I can't think of what it is. Because my brain's going 50 miles an hour here. Oh, the pendulum. Okay, that's what I wanted to tell you. Okay, you can go from reading tarots and doing the pendulum, and and what it does, it like opens up your world. Okay, because it will take you down different paths. It will take you maybe to the Wiccan religion. Maybe it will take you to other types of religion, and you will find friends, and you would actually, feel like you're part of something, being part of something. But it all works out at the end. Okay, it all works out at the end. Just be with somebody that knows what they're doing. You know, I guess you could say it if you're a beginner and you want to go something. Don't go by yourself. Find somebody that knows what they're doing. You know, have somebody. Don't be afraid to be taught by other people. You know, and don't ever think that these people aren't going to work with me because I'm this and I'm that. Don't even think about it. You just go up and you ask for help, and I can guarantee you 100% that person will help you out. You know, that's the best way I can think about it. You know. So again, I'm asking that question out there. Do you really get the answers you seek through a tarot reading? If you don't want to talk about it here in the chat room, feel free to put the message in my Facebook page, Pittsburgh Paranormal Society Facebook page, and I will get back to you. I will find the answers for you. And also, I want to say, if you want to be a guest on my show, okay, and you want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, again, send me a message, and we'll put you on my show, and we can talk about it. You know, it's nice to hear what other people, want to say. I mean, it's great to get, um, different speakers, and it's good to get, it's awesome to get people that have been big in their field and know what they're talking about, blah, blah, blah. But I feel, this is how I feel. I feel that the everyday common man and woman, they need to talk about something. Maybe they can share with us what they want, what they have thought about in paranormal, metaphysical, whatever. And this is your time. I mean, I'm giving you the platform. You know, there's no charge. Uh, in fact, if you want to come on my show and you don't want to be seen on my show, we can always do a voice for you. We could do an audio. Okay. But, this is a platform um, that you can talk about it. Now, my friend Denise says, I think people have to find the answer, but tarot with a stranger may open new ideas. Ah, that's pretty interesting. I never really thought about that, Denise. Hmm. Okay, so Denise says, I think people have to find the answer, which is true, but tarot with a stranger may open new ideas. This sounds very, very interesting. What do you think of that, Cindy? What do you think of that, River? Laura? What do you think of that idea? My only problem doing it with a stranger, though, Denise, is that, I mean, what's their energy like? I mean, you don't know this person from Adam, okay? And I mean, you can do your research; it could be good, whatever. So you go, and the energy from that person could be a really bad energy, and her energy could reflect onto you or whoever's getting that reading done. You know what I mean? That's just my thought. Ever since being in the paranormal world and and doing the ghost hunting and stuff like that. I'm very protective of people and myself, you know. Um, I remember one time that we were now. Here's how crazy about how people are seeking an answer, and this is true. This is really true. At one point in time, I worked with a psychic fair. Okay, every weekend we would go all the way up and down 79. We'd start up in Erie and work our way down to Washington, PA. Okay, um, and what would happen is that we would go to these places, and there was one lady that I felt really bad for because they're very expensive things to go to. And she went around to each psychic at the table. She went to seven of them. I mean, she spent a hell of a lot of money on it. And it was like each one that she went to, she did not get the answer that she seeked, you know. And she came to me, and I guess I didn't give her the answer because she went to three other psychics. This is the only bad thing about letting the tarot run your deck is that if you're going to go out and spend all that money just to get a reading done, to get an answer that you might not like, I don't know. I wouldn't do it. If I was doing that, I'd be sad. I'd be a sad case. Denise McConnell says, true. You have to find out. It's like online dating. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth, Denise? Um, it's just like, yeah, this boy could do some Irish Cayley dancing, yeah, look at that. Yeah, he's telling me he can Cayley dance. And then you take him to a Cayley dance and he don't Cayley dance. Yeah, so like, yeah, you have to find out if he does it or not, you know. My mother and my son used to do that a long time ago, Cayley dancing. It's an old Irish folk dance. Sevens and threes. That's all they did, sevens and threes. But I could not let somebody or the tarot run my life or seek the answers that um, I want. Sometimes you just have to go through life. Okay, you got to go through life. And you have to say to yourself, okay, so this is happening to me. This situation happened. So I need to run to the and read my cards and see if this is right. Why is this happening? I got to go read the tarot. And sometimes the tarot don't have the answer for you. And that means you seriously need to start, you're going to have to deal with the situation on your own, or whatever happens. Maybe it's a lesson. Maybe for the longest time, the tarot did give you answers that, helped you through life. But then there's that one time where it didn't have the answer. It was time, okay, it's time for you to deal with the situation. You don't need a tarot deck to, see what's going on in your life. That kind of happened to me in sobriety, you know. For the beginning, I turned everything over to my higher power. If I broke a nail, I turned it over to my higher power, everything. And then one day, something happened. I turned it over, and I still had the problem. And so I called my sponsor and I said, "Hey, what's going on here?" And he said, "Well, don't you think your higher power is trying to tell you something here, Sean?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "All those times for the first 3 years, you turned everything over to him, and he helped you through it. But in order for you to grow in life, your higher power is telling you have to make the decision on what you want to do. You have to jump that hurdle." Okay. And so you can actually put it, what my sponsor told me, in with the tarot. And it don't have to be the tarot. I mean, it could be the pendulum. You know what I mean? And I find out, which is like really crazy. You know, you can do it standing, straight up and down. If you lean forward, means yes. If you lean backwards, it means no. Come on. How much is it in your mind? There's a lot of it in your mind, a lot of mental. I'm not going to get into some of the other stuff that I have witnessed or I have done myself. Okay, um, because this isn't the show for it. Joe Fox, hey there, Sean. I'm outside cutting grass. I'm surprised you're alive, dude. It's so damn hot out here. Oh, it went down 1 degree, so it's 89 degrees here in Pittsburgh. God only knows what it is over where you're at. But that's my final thing on the tarot. If you need to do the tarot to go through life, then do it. I cannot tell you not to do it. Okay? If you believe you can seek your answers by going to a reader and having them answer, actually run your life through the tarot deck, and then do it. But before you go and do these things, please just sit down and think, is it worth it? Is it worth other people telling me what to do? Is it worth it telling, if the cards are going to lead me in the right direction? Think about it. And you make your decision on that. You know, make your decision on that. But we're getting close to the ending here. You know, my friend Sean Patrick Hazlitt, his show's coming up next at 9:10. It's Through the Glass Darkly. It's a very good show. He's a good host. He has a great show. He has great guests on, and I've listened to his show many a times. So if you're not doing nothing, stick around on UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 Mississippi, and you can listen to his show, which, would be great. And not only Sean's show, but, you got The Outer Realm with Michelle, and you got Joe's show. I'm a co-host with him on News on the Flip Side. That's Friday nights at 10 o'clock p.m., and that's where I get to talk my political shit. Yeah, that's where I get to talk my political. And real quick, I would like everybody, if they can, I don't know if you heard about the young lady who unalived herself down in was it Alabama or Mississippi? But she was bullied by by girls in her class, and it's really big all over TikTok. We don't need to bully people, and these four girls bullied her, and then she did what she did, and it's so sad, so sad. If you can actually make one person's day, help them, not bully them. 13 years old. Please, parents, talk to your children. Tell them to tell you everything. Because when I grew up, it wasn't like this when we grew up. And the world has seriously changed. And the kids nowadays, I don't know what's going on. But it's sad. So please pray for that young girl. And please pray for her family. Or whoever you believe in, Buddha, Hindu, Catholic, Protestant, whoever. Just say a little prayer for the family and the little girl. And hopefully justice will be done. But I have a little saying I would like to share with you. Okay? It's a little poem. And please take this to heart. I am who I am. Like me, love me, take me, leave me. Know that I am a true friend to the end, and ask nothing in return except two things. Don't hurt me or use me. And that was written by Anonymous. And then I just found that, and I read it like over a year ago. I am who I am. Like me, love me, take me, leave me. Know that I am a true friend to the end, and ask nothing in return except two things. Don't hurt me or use me. Children, please, if you can, go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children and give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And if you don't have no parents, if you have no children, please find somebody, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Remember, this Tuesday night, 8:10 on UPRN Talk Radio on this platform, I will have the famous Bill Rigby on, Bigfoot Hunter and Bigfoot Investigator. And on that note, everybody have a good night, and we'll definitely see you on Tuesday. Goodbye.